Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this right here. This is my own original concept or design, and it is called the pencil decor for, well, markers. So the marker decor. And I call this a concept because you can use this little zigzag pattern here on pretty much anything. You can use it on a bracelet like I have here, or even maybe little hairbands. You can use the zigzag thing on anything. And I also have a tutorial for the zigzag stuff for pencils and pens and now markers. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you what you're going to need. To make the little marker decor, you're going to need a loom. Unfortunately, to make the decor for a marker, you're going to need to have a loom that you can take the pin bars out or move them around. And for this tutorial, you'll need to be able to take out the middle pin bar. So if you have a crazy loom or wonder loom, you probably can't make this. You're also going to need your hook. Any hook will work. I'm just going to be using my metal tipped hook. You're also going to need a marker, and I'm going to be using this orange Sharpie marker. And you will also need rubber bands. And all of the rubber bands in the little marker decor are double rubber bands, so you'll be using 2 instead of 1. So just get some rubber bands. You will not need any more than 26. So now that you know what you're going to need, get your supplies and use the pause button so that you can do so, and I will see you once you have everything. Alright, so to begin, you're going to need to take this middle pin bar off of your loom. So just push it up from the bottom. But be very careful when you do this because you do not want to break this pin bar. So just be very careful. Ooh. Scared me. And once you take out this middle pin bar, you can just put it away somewhere where it won't break. So maybe up on a shelf or something. You don't want to put it on the floor because someone could step on it. So I'm just going to put mine all the way back there. So once you've taken the middle pin bar off of your loom, you're going to turn your loom so that the arrow on your loom is pointing away from you. And if your middle pin bar was the only pin bar that had arrows on it, the open end of the pins, so if you were going to get your hook and loom, you would stick your hook in the open end here. The open ends of the pins will be pointing away from you. So all of the pins will look like a U. That's how you're going to have your loom pointed. And then you're also going to need to get all of your rubber bands. And you might want to have your marker nearby so we can get started. Oh, camera's being funny again. It thinks it is. But anyway, to begin, you're going to get 2 rubber bands. And you're going to just stretch them across these bottom 2 pins. So the first left pin and the first right pin, just straight across like that. Then you're going to get another or 2 more rubber bands. And since we're going from right to left, what we're going to do is we're going to place these 2 rubber bands diagonally on our loom from this first right pin to this second left pin. Let me set my loom down. There we go. So now we have this greater than sign or symbol looking shape. And if you don't know what greater than means, you'll learn one day in math, because that's what that is. Then you're going to get 2 more rubber bands, and you're going to, since we're on this left side and we're going to be placing rubber bands going over to the right, you're going to place these 2 rubber bands horizontally on your loom, going from this second left pin to this second right pin. And you end up getting this Z shape, and once you do, you're going to get 2 more rubber bands again, and we're going to be going from right to left, so we're going to place these two rubber bands diagonally, going from this second right pin to this third left pin. And well, that's pretty much the pattern for placing rubber bands for your marker decor. Whenever you're placing a rubber band going from left to right, you place it horizontally on your loom. And if you place when you're placing rubber bands going from right to left, you place it diagonally on your loom. And you're just going to continue placing double rubber bands, or 2 rubber bands at a time, in the horizontal, then diagonal pattern, going all the way down, or not all the way down, but far enough down your loom so that when you set your marker on your loom, the entire area, or all the space, or the part of the marker that does not have a cap on it, is sitting on top of rubber bands. So place enough rubber bands so that when you set your marker on your loom, the cap does not have rubber bands underneath of it, but the rest of the marker does. So I'm going to go ahead and finish placing rubber bands that I need. I'm also going to fast forward, so just use the pause button if you need to. Alright, so as you can see here, I have finished placing my zigzag pattern and stuff on my loom. And now when I set my marker on my loom, all of the area behind the cap, so not the cap, when you set it on your loom, it is on top of rubber bands. Now that I've finished placing the zigzag pattern that I need to for my marker decor, it is time to loom. So turn your loom around so that the arrow is pointing towards you, or so that the open ends of the pins, so if you get your hook and it's time to loom, your hook will go into the open end. Make sure the open ends are pointing towards you now. And now we're going to place a cap band. Now to make a cap band, what you're going to do is you're going to take the rubber band, or rubber bands you're going to be making into a cap band, twist it into an 8 or infinity shape like this, and then fold it like a book back on top of itself, and that will create a cap band. And it should look like you have 2 rubber bands instead of 1. So once you make your cap band, you're going to put it on the first pin that has rubber bands on it. So for me, it is this right pin right here. So this pin right here. And that's where you're going to put your cap band. Very simple. And once you have your cap band on your loom, you're going to get your marker and set it on top of the rubber bands. And now it is time to loom. Now looming this is very simple. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it is simple, because if you already know how to make a single chain, then this will be very easy for you. But to begin looming, you're just going to pull back the cap band with your hook. Let me turn my loom. Grab the bottom rubber band and loom it outwards to wherever it is coming from. So this rubber band that I have on my hook is coming out here, or coming from out here on the left. So that's where I'm going to bring the rubber band. And this is pretty difficult because the marker is very fat or thick, so that's why we have to take out the middle pin bar. But you're going to loom this rubber band outwards to wherever it is coming from. Then you're going to do the same for the next rubber band. So now that I'm out here on the left, I need to pull back the top rubber bands, grab the bottom rubber band, and if you need to, hold down your marker and just loom this rubber band that you have on your hook outwards to wherever it is coming from. Oh goodness. Get on there. Alright, sorry about that. The camera fell over. But as you can see here, I loomed this rubber band outwards to where it was coming from. And once you've done that, you're going to do the same thing out here. Wherever this rubber band was coming from, you're going to pull back the top rubber bands. Grab the bottom rubber bands and loom them outwards to wherever they're coming from. These 2 rubber bands I have on my hook are coming from out here on the left. And as you can see, it happened again, so I'm gonna turn my loom. Goodness. Alright, so once you get to out here, wherever this rubber band is coming from, you're gonna pull back the top rubber band once again. Grab the bottom rubber bands, because there should be two. And you're going to loom it outwards to wherever it is coming from, or actually they are coming from. This rubber band almost fell off my hook. And, well, that's all you're going to do. You're just going to pull back the top rubber bands, grab the bottom rubber band, and loom it outwards to wherever it is coming from, going all the way down your loom until you get to the top right pin. That should be the last pin you need to loom a rubber band to. So right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward myself, looming the last few rubber bands, and if you need to, use the pause button. Alright, so as you can see here, I have finished looming my marker decor and all of the rubber bands, and I've stopped here on this last right pin, so this top right pin here, and you should have stopped there as well. And once you have finished looming your marker decor, it is now time to take it off of your loom. Now, taking the rubber bands off of your loom is very easy. You need to get your hook and make sure that the open end of the pins is still pointing towards you. What you're going to do is with your hook is you're going to pull all of the rubber bands off of each pin, one pin at a time, going all the way down your loom. But do not take the rubber bands off of this top right pin. So this right pin where you finished looming, do not take those rubber bands off. So to remind yourself, you can just put your finger over this pin, and yeah, so do not take this rubber band off of this top right pin. And if you need to use the pause button, then go ahead and use it. I'm not going to fast forward, as you can see, I'm already done. Bam. So as you can see here, I already have my decoration, or my decor, and, well, you should start to see it as well. And now what we're going to do to take this rubber band off of our loom is we're going to get our hook, stick it into this top right pin, and pull the rubber bands off of the pin with your hook, and make sure you keep the rubber bands on your hook when you take them off. So you should have something like this. Now you can push your loom away, just like I did there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer these rubber bands onto our marker, so we don't have two, or actually four, loose rubber bands here. So to transfer these rubber bands, you can do one of two things. You can take off the cap, or you could just leave it on. It's probably easier to take off the cap, but you might get your rubber bands all marker color, whatever color you're using. So if you don't want to get your rubber bands all messy, then just keep the cap on, but I'm going to go ahead and take the cap off. Or actually I'm going to keep it on for the first one, and then I'll show you how to put it on with the cap off. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these two little layers here. So there's 1 and 2. You're going to take this one here off, the one that's closest to your actual hook, and you're going to pull it either over the cap or over the end of the marker, like so. And once you get down here to where there isn't the cap or the lid, you'll just let go of it. And I'm going to go ahead and show you if you have this part exposed. You get your rubber bands. So for the second layer, you just take them off of your hook. You do the same thing. You pull it over either your cap or the open end of your marker. Pull over this end of the marker or the cap, and pull it down to the same place you brought the other layer. And once you've done that, you can either put your cap back on or whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and put my cap back on, but because I don't want my marker to dry out. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put your cap band on this end of your marker. So you're going to grab your cap band with your fingers and just pull it over this end of the marker, and there you go. But if it does not seem like it is tight enough on your marker, you can grab all layers of the cap band, twist them, and that's kind of hard. There you go. Twist them, and then put them back on the marker. But I'm not going to do that because they seem to be tight enough. And we put the cap band on this end of the marker so that the decor does not start sliding around, because it won't be as tight on all markers because this is a Sharpie and it's very fat. So yeah, once you've brought all of those rubber bands and ends onto your marker, you are done making your decor. So go ahead and put away your hook. So now it's time for the outro. So I would like to thank you for watching my tutorial. Hopefully it showed you how to make this marker decor successfully, and hopefully you're enjoying your marker decor, because it's supposed to be decoration, not really a grip or anything that's comfortable, because that's why it's called decoration. But yeah, if you would like to make some other things with this same technique on them, like maybe this bracelet here, or even a pencil or a pen, which I do have a pencil. So you could put this on a pencil and add a dangle to it, which I do have tutorials for these, so there will be a link for the pencil, the pen, the mechanical pencil, and the decor in the description, so there'll be a link for all of these. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and bye!